Hi guys, my name's Tom, owner of Tom Oliver Motorcycles, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step guide on how to adjust the chain on your motorcycle. One of the most important parts of maintenance on your motorcycle is keeping the chain properly adjusted and lubricated. Without doing this, the chain could become really slack, which can cause it to slap against the swinging arm or potentially even jump off the rear sprocket. Having it too tight could damage the sprockets or the chain, or can potentially even knock out bearings. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide on how to keep your chain correctly adjusted. As you can see, we've got this Kawasaki Z800 here that needs the chain adjusting. The specification for the chain is on the swinging arm. On most motorcycles, you'll find that on a sticker on the swinging arm or on the chain guide. If not, you can refer to your workshop manual where you should be able to find the correct information there. We're going to get our bike on a paddock stand or centre stand with the rear wheel elevated. This way we can check for an accurate reading of the chain adjustment and also check for potential tight spots or tight links in the chain. Now we know our chain is in a good condition and doesn't have any tight spots or tight links, we're going to begin by checking the chain adjustment. We're going to do this by taking the chain in between the two sprockets and just holding a tape measure up to the swinging arm and just measuring up and down with the chain to get a true reading of what the adjustment is at the moment. In this case, the chain is 40 mil. So we know that that now needs to be adjusted. We're going to start by loosening the axle nut. To do this, I need to remove the split pin. It's worth mentioning that we don't need to take the nut completely off, just enough to allow the wheel to move freely. Now we've got the spindle nut loosened off, we're going to start adjusting the chain by backing off the locking nuts. Some bikes won't have a locking nut, but the principle remains the same. If your bike's got a single-sided swinging arm, the method of adjusting the chain is slightly different, so it's worth referring to your workshop manual to make sure you do it correctly. It's always important to remember that when adjusting the chain, we need to keep the wheel aligned. On this bike, we've got alignment marks on the swinging arm. Most makes and models will have this, but other ways to keep the wheel aligned are laser alignment or straight edge, but in this instance, we're going to use the marks on the swinging arm. Now we're ready to adjust our chain. I'm going to adjust it 1/4 of a turn, either side at a time. This way, it keeps the wheel aligned. But remember, if the wheel does slightly go out of alignment, you've still got the chain adjustment marks on the swinging arm to reference back to. While we're doing this, it's important to remember we're checking the chain adjustment with our tape measure to make sure we haven't over tightened it. Now we're happy our chain is adjusted correctly, we're ready to tighten up the spindle nut. A good tip to remember when tightening up the spindle is to put a spanner or a rag in between the chain and the sprocket here. This holds the wheel forwards so that when we tighten up the wheel, it doesn't allow it to slip back and give a false chain reading when we come to check the measurement at the end. Now we've got the spindle nut torques back up, we just need to recheck our chain adjustment. Once we're happy that's in spec, we're going to tighten up our locking nuts and put the split pin back in the spindle. To finish off, we're going to give the chain a quick clean and a coat of lube. Now you've got all the information you need to adjust your chain, you can go give it a go yourself. Thanks for watching.